Welcome back to the channel. We got all the parts ready, the table is set up. Today is the day that we're putting the engine back together. All the parts are in, so with that in mind, this is where we left off last time. We have the front plate, we have it painted, and now the first step of the procedure is to actually put the stationary gear back on. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move this over to the top, and we're gonna grab our front stationary gear and we are going to place it down. Alright, thank you. Alright, so that's down, and we also have the 6 screws that actually tighten it down. We're gonna torque it to the minimum spec of that torque wrench, which is massive. Thank you DNA Garage for letting me borrow your sweet tool. We'll give you guys a link in the description. Check them out, they do amazing work. They prep the car for me. So yeah, thank you to them, and thank you to Louis for letting me borrow his masterpiece in green here. His Snap-on Deluxe. 12 to 16. 12.5 pounds. Okay, so we got that done. Alright, so that's the first step. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna flip it over now. This is all we need to get it going. No glove, no love. So let the proctology load it up. So what we have here is 2-stroke oil, and we're gonna actually lubricate our parts. So our stationary gear, our bearing inside the stationary gear, we're gonna give that some lube. So for now, we just wanted to lube the bearing, the journal bearing. This being the front iron, we're gonna start with our front rotor, and based on the procedure that we got last time from breaking this apart, we're gonna reassemble it using our notation and our legend over here. So starting with the front rotor, this is our front rotor. We have markings that notate how this actually rotor should stand. We also have a marking here that we made, and we notated starting from here. So starting from here, we have F1, F2, and F3, which basically will be 1, 2, and 3, and that's the top side. And we're gonna flip it over, and we're gonna have 1, 2, and 3 on the reverse. So with no further ado, we are going to start putting in our side seals. Side seal first. This is our side seal. You're gonna look at it, see which one is the shiny part. And as you can tell here, or maybe you can, but this is actually the shiny side. This is actually gonna sit on top. Now, when it comes to the actual spring, you can see that it actually bows up or bows down, and if you were to reverse it, it will actually bow up. So what we want to do is have a little bit more flex on the corners. So we want it to actually drop it in this way, so it bows up at the corners. So that's how we actually drop in the seal. This is back in. I'm gonna check the tolerances, and it looks like it lines up just fine. Now what we want to do is, we can do this later, but just to make sure that we proceed from this point on, we're gonna hold it here, and we're gonna check if we actually have springness. If we have springness, That means the seal has movement and it's actually gonna do its job. So as you can see, we hold in the edge and we have this lifting. We can do the reverse and have the corners lift. So this seal is down and good to go. It looks like it's coming all the way to the end, and those are the factory tolerances. That's why we bagged everything, and we putting everything back exactly how it was, making sure that everything lands where it needs to land. All right, fantastic. Now that we got the idea what we need to do, we're gonna go ahead and finish the rest. Fantastic. So now, going back to our legend here, we need to go to F2. So F2T will be the next one. F2T, I already put it aside. Again, we want to put the spring with the ends pointing upward at the end. That's the correct way of putting the spring in. You want to make sure that the spring lands in the groove and not outside the groove. Okay, again, we have the shiny side. We are going to put some oil. And we are going to drop it down. Again, we're going to check, make sure that we have springiness. Make sure that the seal is actually traveling, isn't getting stuck anywhere. It's very important that it actually functions, otherwise it will not work. It will get stuck and we're going to lose compression. Front, reed top. This part's done. Okay, so now what we want to do is grab the oil rings. So the white rings go to the front. Okay. All right. We didn't remove these oil rings in here, rubber rings, and we don't have to remove them. There's a groove right inside here. There's two of them, one for the outside ring, one for the inside ring. And what we want to do is basically place this corner into the groove so we can actually catch the groove like so. Here. So under pressure, you generate a little bit of pressure. Under pressure, this will not allow it to spin. And this, on the other hand, has a groove here. And we're gonna match that groove to the end of this, like so. On the inside of this, just, it will fumigate a lot on startup, but I like to grease everything up. Make sure we don't have a dry start. Alright, fantastic. Now we got everything greased. Back to our marking, which is right here. And we're gonna drop that down and make sure that it's seated. And that is our outer oil control ring in place. And we're gonna do the same for the inner. Make sure it's seated. And now it is. You can actually feel the tension and the springiness. It's actually bringing the grease back out. That's great. Fantastic. Okay, cool. Three corner seal springs and 3 corner seals. So we're gonna drop in the spring and make sure that we have an opening. Oh, magnetic. That sucks. Just use the blade to drop it down. And then drop it down. The grease is actually going to help keep it in place. I like to also put a little bit of grease here. Again, this is gonna smoke really bad when we start it, but it does help not to start dry. So, all right, we'll do the same thing on the stationary gear. All right, so now this side of the rotor, which we're gonna meet with that surface, is actually ready. But what we want to do is put in our water seals. And to do that, Alex, you don't mind opening the Kelmar, this, and then the Ultra Black. So what we need the Ultra Black for is, this is part of the oil. This is part of the oil pan here, and we're gonna have to do the feet and this area as well. But first, we're gonna do the water seals. And there you have it. So like we said, this is actually the joint part. This is the part that we want to put on the cold side. So I'm gonna put it right over the intake. Is exactly where I'm gonna put it, and it's gonna be right here. That is the least stress section of the rotor when it's in the compression cycle. Now we're gonna have to get the rotor housing. We have the rotor housing. There we go. The oil pan is here. So this needs to get covered. Okay. No. But there we have an O-ring. We also have a dowel pin. The dowel pin goes here, and the dowel pin goes here. The O-rings are one of these here, and these O-rings they go over here. This is the oil pan cavity. So as long as we have a nice seal between the outside, we should be okay. So let me just make sure that we spread this over the whole entire surface so we have a nice adhesive surface. And then here is where the water seal actually will separate too. And again, this is really the most important part. This is a little extra. There we go. That should do it. All right. So we got dowel pins, oil pin. We have ultra black down here. We have the water seals. Everything should be good to go here. Now what we want to do at this point is lubricate our surface. We have the bottom side of the front rotor ready, and we have the surfaces ready. So what we're gonna do is we are going to drop it down. These are the, don't lose anything. These are the side seals. These are the apex seals. Okay. Glue the inside edge. That's all. Don't put the outside. It's very important. Okay, listen. It's very important that it doesn't like overflow. So it's just very little, because otherwise it's gonna get stuck. Okay. And then we're gonna come to our E shaft, and same principle. We are gonna make sure that we loop this up right here. We also want to loop up this part, which is where our rotor sits. So for now, all we want to do is make sure that we loop this part. And we are going to drop it down. And there we have it. All right, now that everything's aligned, we are gonna go ahead and drop the apex seals. All right, we got the center iron on. We got the first rotor in. More oil for these dowel pins. Check that the ring goes okay. Yeah, just eyeball it on the way down. When they machined this, some of the debris got in there, and we're like, and because it's new, tolerances are like the machine cut. You know what I mean? It's the Legend. Yeah, we're doing the reverse side here. So this is R1, and we're doing R2, which is R2B, R2 back. This one here, which will be on the reverse side. So this is this. 2, 3, 4, 5,